Good morning, this is Sandro Fermo, and I am describing the Bus.Hian years up to the year of 2000 and roughly 4. This is quite appropriate, the song. It's mean as hell, so were they, man. Please, Mr. Custer, I don't want to go. Besides all that shit, let's start the bullshit. This in the background, it's not going, who cares? It will, I'll let you hear it. Here goes, man. The resolution of facts from innocent little doctory rats that diagnosed insanity with a whimsical detached profanity was purveyed with the utmost care. If only we didn't want to blow up Delaware and all with all peculiar and all that peculiar North Americana that is a startling reminder of the ironized military peaceniks that later got out of some cheap psychotic kicks, disillusionment by bravery with contradictory slavery, being smitten by a docile kitten, being enraged by a close shave, tormented with truth and by some idiotic sleuth, but colored up the night with a protected diplomatic delight, that nourished the stately bedfellows with a quack who was always mellow. And somewhat charmed by this mental alarm, with a sense of black humor, he became a real nice party pooper, slaughtering the righteous with a raised fist, dancing up a storm, allowing opinionated cars to perform the obligatory perpetuation of ill-fated correlations. For the phoenix may have again risen, but its prosperity lies within this man's delusion to conceptualize propagated spiritual lies, being both scrutinized and investigated by the saintly FBI. Martila and George Bush Jr. has something in common. And no, son, don't ask me why. For they, the purveyors of vision, have a right to this intimidation, from their lofty perch of so-called definitive hierarchies that is really judged by the populace, you and me. Don't be afraid, okay? Futurely dismayed by this elitist fable, who pissed beyond Christ's stable, and was only formidable when their aristocracy became dismal and notorious amongst many realistic kooks that little got us and not them off the hook for the schizophrenication induced by a Muslim, Robert Bruce, will hang 'em high upon their cordial noose, and the entertaining drudgery involved in a Malawi's nobody just goes to show that perhaps fame is a winsome blow that does not capture everyone, for they cannot be as famous as a local African nun that truly helps the people. And who cares if the president goes to the church steeple? We'd rather ponder God without a camera's nod towards our solitary notoriety, endearing the masses without the populistic, primitive sociological classes that make us feel unworthy because of our monetary condition is so unsturdy, but invalids merits of pension. That's better than being involved in fake parliamentary rhetorical detentions, because a Jesuit's true calling is to be a righteous performer towards our and theirs sweet hereafter, with a careful, angelic laughter that is created when these invisible creations are infatuated by the antagonizing protagonism of spiritual secret wisdom. What is a diagnosed stratagem but an all-inclusive perpetual emotion kingdom that incorporates a fulfilling belonging to a satirical involvement? The and we must seek cultural acknowledgement without the blatant distaste of intoxicated mental waste, but with a colorful dominion for which we must propagate assimilative wisdom. For a contrived manipulation of misconstrued liaisons and backdates a conscious undertaking to pursue illegitimate dogmas without negative women or fellows that are enchantingly mellow. The thrill of a rehabilitative masses antipsychotic pill will later negate that torrid anti-constitutional weight with, yes, a bitter complacency detached from a frivolous notoriety. For the leisurely obscure or soundness sometimes does blur with a foggy superficial trait that a better fruited sense of justice must await without the contradictory notions of multifaceted devotions. But these noticeable detachments are also part of society's enhancements, simply due to both the torment and giddiness of truth, all-encompassingly acting intellectually aloof. Being afraid to let her subconscious get paid by some superior decree of the unfortunately abstentatious fathomings of color, sex, and ideology, will fulfill a whimsicality with a cultural, seemingly flirtatious conformity. Being alone and being cast the dire bone in order to nurture ourselves is not a proper form of integrated wealth, but the breachful eyes of law beneath a fourth facial shroud makes our mysterious sexuality shout aloud with a seemingly dreaded barrier that is really beneficiary because it defines a differential exterior. We, the true purveyors of westernized world's illumination, must incorporate all kinds of different nations with a cordial sense of scrutiny, while through difference we must only later perceive racist ignorance, for the prevention involved in sociological detentions is a must only if somehow this subdues or globalized lust. So defining our humanity often means confronting ourselves with religious duplicity, that all enthralling spiritual reciprocality that may be called enthralling, reciprocative that has turned us into better somebodies without hopefully a non-legalized chant that is really a chat that is really what this problem is all about. A sort of mayhem caught between the salmon and the trout.